Alright, this is going to give you a brief introduction on how to format your Word document exams into Respondus for uploading to Blackboard and creating an online exam. So what you need to accomplish this is Respondus 4.0. You get this license from our PC services department. They can put it on your, or give you the link to put it on your home computer and your office computer. So you just need to contact them for that license. It is a free license, so not a problem getting it in both places, home and work. So what I'm going to do, I opened up Respondus. I get this opening page. I want to import questions from a text file. Now I could go ahead and create a new test using Respondus. I've done that before. But if you have a pre-existing test in a Word document, you can just do some simple formatting to it and upload that into Respondus and then into Blackboard. So to do that, I'm going to click Import Questions from a Text File. And then I have to choose what type of file it is. Most of the Word documents I've created here at work are docx files using the latest Microsoft Word software. So I'm going to choose Microsoft Word 2007 docx. And then I'm going to click Browse and find that file. Now, if that file is not a docx, it will not show up when I go to browse for it. So I'm going to go into my Dropbox folder, and I'm going to go into this folder where I know I have an exam. So I'm going to click on that, open it up, and I'm going to have to name it something new because it's going to become a file in my Respondus file list. So I'm going to call it Respondus Practice Exam. Then I'm going to click Preview, and what this does is if there's a problem on the bottom, it'll tell me. It's saying that 5 question numbers appear more than once in the file. That's not a problem. 2 questions had a duplicate question title. That's not an issue, so I'm just going to ignore those, and then I'm going to click Finish. Now it's saved my file into Respondus so that if I went into the Start menu here, it would show up in my list of files if I opened up a Respondus file. But now I'm going to edit it. I want to make sure that it looks the way I want it to look. So I'm going to go to Preview and Publish to make sure that it looks the way I want it to look. So I'm going to go to Preview and make sure that it has the format I'm looking for. There's no typos. It all looks good. Got some matching questions in there. I've got a multiple answer question. I have a fill in the blank question. I have an essay question that provides the answer when they're done typing it in, or I have a essay question that does not provide a correct answer when they are done with the question. So you have 2 choices there. True-false question, another true-false question, and a multiple choice question. And the answer is shown in green here. Now let's say I didn't like the way something looked. Let's say I wanted to change something. I could go to, for example, my matching. The problem with importing matching questions is they tend to put the answer right across exactly from the choices. So number 1 is the answer is A, 2 the answer is B, 3 is C. We don't want that. So I'm going to click Modify Item. It pulls up the question, and I can change these things. So what I would do is I would go ahead and change this. I'm going to put speed of light here, and I'm going to put radio waves up here so they're not exactly, or maybe I could even put theory of relativity here and radio waves here. That way they're not right across from one another. But now I need to make sure I match these up here. So Einstein, the answer for that is A, and Mr. Morley is letter C, and Marconi is letter B. So now I'm going to save those changes. Now they're not directly across from one another, and it makes it a little bit more of a challenge for the students. Okay, so I'm done with that, and that's the end of my test. So if it all looks good, I'm going to hit Close, and then I'm going to go back to Preview, Publish, and my next list is Publish to Blackboard. So if I want to put this in a Blackboard course, I'm going to click Publish to Blackboard, click on Publish Wizard, and I can batch it to a single course, or if I'm teaching multiple sections of a course, I can put it in a couple of different classes. So I'm going to just do it to a single course right now. and I'm going, or another choice I have is I could save it to my computer and manually upload it from Blackboard. But it's much quicker to publish it right away to Blackboard. So I go to Next. Now it's saying I'm having a problem getting into the course list and the login isn't working, and that's typical. When you get to a new semester, sometimes you need to reboot your classes for the new semester, and that's not a problem. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to go to Edit Settings. And number 1, it says to open your browser in the Blackboard login page and type in the address that appears on that page. So if I go to Blackboard here, I'm going to take this address and I'm going to type it in, or copy it actually by hitting Control C. Go back here, I'm going to enter that here, and then it says to go into a course where you have instructor rights and copy that address into the box. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to sign into Blackboard. Okay, it doesn't like me this morning. I must have bumped a key. So I'm going to go into one of my classes. I'm going to go into my human biology class this semester. And now I'm in the class. I'm going to just copy that window on the top, highlight it, hit Control C, go back into number 2 here. I'm going to hit Control V, V as in Victor, to paste it there. And then make sure my username and my password is correct. My password might have changed since last time I logged into Respondus, and it should match the password you use for Blackboard and Outlook, so that's easy. I'm just going to update that and make sure that looks okay. Then I'm going to hit OK. Now let's see if I hit this, if it works and uploads to my current semester courses. And there it goes. There's all the classes that I had active in my Blackboard, and I want to put it in my human biology class. So it's quite a bit here. I'm going to put it right there, and I'm going to call it Respondus Practice Exam. And where do I want to put it? I have some choices. That'll be on the next page. So do I want to apply random blocks, apply settings? Yes. Do I want to link it to a content area and make it available? Yes. But actually it is not made available. It shows up on your end, but you need to actually make it available through Blackboard. So I'm going to check all 3 of those. I'm going to hit Next. Now it's asking me in your folder, where do you want it? So I'm going to put it in my learning modules, and I'm going to put it in my first learning module that I have in Blackboard. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to click Next, and it's working on it. It's uploading the questions we can see here. I've got the circle. It's not quite done yet. Now it said it's completed successfully, so I'm going to click Finish. Now I'm going to go into Blackboard and see if it showed up there. And to do that, I need to refresh my page, go back into my class. I'm going to go into my learning module, and remember I put it in this first one here. I'm going to click on it. And there it is, Respondus Practice Exam. And I'm going to make it available, so I need to go here, edit the test options, and I'm going to make the link available. I can decide if I want to allow them to attempt it multiple times until they get a good grade, or I can force them to complete it all in one sitting. I can set a timer on this test, make them submit it within, or make them complete it within a certain amount of time. I can write when it's going to, choose when it's going to display, when it's going to expire, or I can require a password for them to enter the exam, and I can give it a due date. So some students miss the due date. If I want them to go ahead and still do the test after the due date, I want to leave this unchecked. But if I don't want them to be able to start it, then I want to go ahead and check this. And then I can decide, do I want to include it in their scores, or do I want this to be a practice test that doesn't count toward their grade? If I don't want it to count for their grade, then I would keep this blank. If I want it to count in their grade, then I would check it. Then after they submit it, I can decide, do I want them to know all the answers to the test, or do I want it just to display their score? Maybe wait until after it's submitted, all the students have submitted it. Do I want them to know what the correct answer is? So this just shows them what their answers were. This tells them what the correct, oh, I think I have that wrong actually. I'll work from the back. from this direction, because this is how I do it. I click only submitted. This shows them which ones they got wrong, but it doesn't show them the correct answer. So they have to go back and try it again, or at least know which ones they got wrong so they can study up on that for the class that's going to happen in the test that's going to happen in class. So I only hit submitted. But if you want everything to show, then you would click all three. Alright, then you have a choice. Let's say after the due date you want to show everybody the answers once everybody's taken it. So that's another option. So you can choose when you want these scores to show up. And then you can decide you want the questions to appear on the screen one at a time and they can't go back and change anything, or do you want it all at once? And I can tell you students prefer all of the questions available and the ability to go back and change their answers as they go through. So if it's not something that you're vehemently opposed to, I think it's a good choice to just keep it all available at one time so it looks more like a paper test. And then you can randomize the questions so they go in a different order every time they attempt it, so they're not memorizing just the list of letters, they're actually reading the question. And then you hit submit. So there it is, it's ready to take, so I can click on it here and I can put some instructions if I wanted to in the edit section. But here's the test now. It all shows up all on one page. And the essay questions will require your manual grading, so if you put any essay questions in there, it's not going to grade it until you go ahead and look at it in the grade center and assign points to it. But that's the test, and when they're all done, they just save and submit. And then it's ready to go. Then you click OK, and that's the test. And then it automatically, once you create a test in Blackboard, an online exam, and make it available, it shows up in the grade center. So here is the test. And if you want to get rid of a test, if it has attempts in it already, somebody's already taken it and you want to hide it from your grade center, you can't delete it, but you can hide it. So you would just go down to hide column if it's something that you didn't want to have students see. Alright, and then if I look here, over here under my control panel, if I scroll down to course tools and I go down to here to test surveys and pools, it is available in my test pool. You can see it's right here, Respondus practice exam, and I can edit it here if I want to, or I can edit it, you know, in my folder under the learning modules. I can export it, which will save it as a link that I can put it on my computer as a zip file, or I can copy it and send it to another course. But I like having everything in Respondus because it's much quicker to put things into the different Blackboard sections. And then from semester to semester, you're not going back into old Blackboard courses. You have all your exams right here in Respondus. So I'm going to go back to Respondus. And let's say for this test, I actually wanted to print it off. Let's say I wanted to do a paper test and an online test. So if I go to print options, it'll give me some choices. I can print the exam by itself, or I can print it with an answer key, or I could just print off the answer key if I wanted. And then it'll ask me, you know, what kind of settings I want. So if I go to settings, it'll give me some, you know, do I want the number, the wording, the answer choice? Do I want to randomize the choices for matching? I definitely do. For formatting, you can decide what kind of font you want. If you want blank lines between the questions or indenting, you can kind of just look and see how that prints off and decide if you like it or not. But this is a nice option because oftentimes we have blended courses, or we'll teach an online class one semester, face-to-face the next. So you have an option of printing it off here as well as doing it online. But here's what the printed version would look like. So that's another option. Or you can just save it to the file, save it as a Word document. So if I go in here and I go to my folder, I can call it my Respondus exam Word file. And then if I go there, I can look at it. And I can change it however I want it to look. So I can add a title and do whatever I need to. But there's the test that I created online from a Word document, put it online through Respondus, and then I can make changes to it if necessary. So that's how you upload an exam to Respondus. The next part I want to show you is if I take an exam, how do I format it so it can go into Respondus and have the right answer? To do that, I'm going to pull up an exam, and the title of my practice exam is How to Format Exams for Respondus. So let's say I have a multiple choice question, and I have lots of multiple choice questions. Well, all I have to do is make sure there's a number with a period after it, and then my letter choices, and all I have to do is put an asterisk in front of the correct answer. So multiple choice questions are the easiest to format for importing into Respondus, because all you need is that asterisk in front of the one correct answer. So for multiple choice, there's only one correct answer. If I want to do a true false, I have two choices. I can put, I can write out true and false. True has to come before false, and then I have to put an asterisk. Or I could just put capital T or capital F, same thing, it'll still format the same, and make sure I have the asterisk in front of the correct answer. Let's say I want to type an essay question. To do that, you have to write this. You have to make sure that you type this into the computer prior to the question. So I would just write type with a colon, a space, and then the letter E for essay. And then I put my essay question, and it'll leave me some space in the online exam for the students to type the answer. Another type of essay question, you can have them type the answer just like you did here, but if I put the letter A and then I type my answer, when students submit their answer, they can see what the correct answer was supposed to be. So this is nice for showing them what you were looking for in that essay question. Type S, this is another example of a type of essay, but it's a short answer or fill in the blank question. So if you want them to just type in an exact word that you're looking for with correct spelling, you would format it this way. So A, B, and C, these are the three choices. You want to think of what are possible answers your students might provide for this short answer of who is the father of television, and then provide as many. You can provide many more. I've done up to 6 possible answers here. So any one of these 3 Respondus will accept as a correct answer if students type these in. And type MR is multiple response. This is where you're looking for more than one answer. So I always, on these questions, even though it doesn't, it looks a little different, there'll be squares in front of these choices rather than circles that they would see in a multiple choice. I always add the words check all that apply. That way they know there's more than one answer they need to choose. So you need to type, write the letters or type in the letters TYPE colon space MR for multiple response. Then put your question number, put an asterisk in front of each of the correct answers, and you're good to go. And then type MT refers to matching, and for that you just put the equal sign between the choice and its answer. And again, when you get into Respondus, you'll need to change that right hand column if you want it to look, to be in a different order or to randomize it. So that is the basic format for taking your Word documents and importing them into Respondus. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You can just give me an email or call my office. My office number is 785-9554. Thank you.